Thanks again for joining us here this morning on Midwest Ag Matters, and we kick off the program this morning with Focus on the Farm, and this morning we're focusing on corn yields. Now, pushing corn yields to new levels requires a shift in your mindset. At least that's the position of AgriGold agronomist Nick Frederking. He says if you want to push your yields beyond the plateaus that you've had in the past, what you need to do is hone in on the details.
Most farmers today take a blanket approach to managing their farm. If growers are looking to find that next level of yield on their operations, the success is going to be in the details. To move up in yield level, we need to focus on the small things, the details, and not the big picture. There's a lot of variables in growing crops today, whether it's soil types, pest pressures, all based on the geography that you live in. So to take an average corn yield and move it up on an operation, the key message should be don't focus on the big picture, focus on all the details that make that up.
Frederking says another way farmers can increase yield is with the planter.
Right out of the gate, growers can affect their yield in their planting season. As soon as that seed goes into the planter and makes its way into the ground, there's so many things that affect success from the crop standpoint. When we look at the planter, there's so many levels to it, right? Simple maintenance on the planter, low inputs, not putting a lot of focus on it. We're probably going to maintain those baseline averages across the farm. Now, as we start to look at the details on the planter, seeding depth, plant spacing, all of these little details on the planter make up a big impact when it comes to the end of the season. Focusing on some of the details will certainly move us up the ladder, but a near flawless planter, one that has every bell and whistle turning the right way, putting the seed exactly how we want it, that's where we're going to find optimum success.
And he says the final area to focus on when shooting for higher yields is nutrient management.
Many farmers today make a blanket approach to nutrition in their crops. When we look at the macronutrients, many growers are making the same applications every year with no thought as to why they're doing it. We get soil samples done. I find that most growers grab those soil samples, put them on a shelf, and never look at them again. That's fine for baseline yields. But again, these growers that are looking for more yield have to focus on the details. It may start with understanding how much a crop needs for those yield goals that you're looking to achieve. That's what the macros are: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, making sure our pH is right. But to climb that ladder, now we need to start focusing on the micronutrients. Sulfur has made its way into the discussion as a macro/micro. That's a good place to start. Making sure we have the right nutrients for the yield goal we're trying to obtain, that needs to be the key message there.
So where do you start? Frederking had these thoughts on that first step for pushing to higher yield levels.
Focus on not changing everything at once. In fact, year one, I would strongly suggest establishing a baseline with whatever technology you want to use. Some of my favorites are tissue samples, soil samples, but we certainly know that there's drones and yield technology, so much technology available to us. The key message though, first year, establish a baseline for what you're already doing. Find out where your limiting factors are today. And then in the second year, don't change 12 things at once. Focus on 1, 2, maybe 3 things at most. Don't get in a rush to change everything. We need to understand where these changes are coming from.
There you have it. Some interesting thoughts and insights from AgriGold agronomist Nick Frederking. And he says if you want to find out more about this, you need to reach out to your local AgriGold agronomist or go online to agrigold.com.
Podcasts by Federated Media.